The future of the Escape from Tarkov community is in question right now. Developers of Tarkov Tools have taken down the website. Today, we get to sit down and have a discussion with Kokarn about his decision and what the future of Tarkov Tools potentially is. So, grab some popcorn, grab a coffee, sit on down, and let's get into this. So, start right off, what got you involved and why'd you start the Tarkov Tool page?
So I've been developing like tools for games for a long time, like almost 20 years now. I remember before WoW, but the first thing I remember doing was a guild page for my WoW guild. Long time ago, and it's always been a thing that I play a game, I like it a little bit, and then I find something that I need more info, I need more data, I need something that helps with, anything really. So I've built tools for games for a long time, just
The
as a
reason why you
hobby.
went that way instead of like YouTube or anything like that?
YouTube didn't exist when I started. I think that's the big one. There was no content creators, no YouTubers in those early days. And I mean, I think a big thing is that I'm not a native English speaker either. So I have a few friends who has done some YouTube stuff, and I've been involved in a few YouTube videos here and there. But because Swedish is the primary language, everybody speaks English, but the Swedish is primary language. The audience is not as big,
Right.
so you don't really get into that part a lot of the time.
Gotcha.
And then it's just been like a fun hobby projects here and there. Just some more successful than others. And this has been the most successful so far.
And for a hobby, it's become the tool to use.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time. I've spent thousands of hours of my time building Tarkov Tools. I've spent a lot of money to keep it running and trying to make it follow my beliefs. I think not be paid to use, not running ads unless I have to. Not just trying to get by the help of the community, basically.
I mean, your API is open for others to use, right?
Yep.
So by you pulling down, are you going to pull the back end down as well at a certain point?
Yeah. So that was the big thing for me when I decided to pull the site. I started to think about, okay, how am I going to do this? Which way is something that I can stand for, reflects my beliefs, and still doesn't screw over people unnecessarily.
Yeah.
So what I realized was the first thing that really hits for me is to take down the actual site, the front end, because that's my sort of thing. That's my product, right? The API is just something that I like the idea of having an open API that others consume. And so I started by reaching out to every single user I know of the API. Just told them in private that I've decided to take down the site. I will take down the API, but that's not going to happen today. I don't have a timeline for that, but I will take it down.
I mean, it's a lot of work to essentially throw away at a certain point.
Yeah, it feels fucking awful.
I bet.
It's been the worst day personally for me in a long time. But it's just at some point you gotta do what you believe in, right? And the thinking was that one of the parts I was thinking about was that if I don't do anything that actually sucks for me, then it's just hypocritical. Like if I, take everything down or just keep it up and add a banner or something, it's like, yeah, I support this cause, but not at the expense of my things. Right. Just somebody else support it, please.
Yeah, and you've taken a pretty hard stand. I mean, with links to Ukraine aid right there on the front page.
Yeah, and Russian aid. I think that's really important because I've been called a racist a lot the last 24 hours.
Really?
Yeah. And I think it's really important that I think everybody's really fucked in this situation.
Yeah.
And Russian Human Rights Watch and Russian aid is also something that really needs to improve over the coming years.
Yeah, and I've got a lot of Russian content creator friends that are absolutely struggling right now.
Yeah.
I mean, people have gone at their throats, basically, even though they're like, yo, I want nothing to do with this, and I think it's bad.
Yeah, exactly. And I have some channels that I talk to some people connected to BSG in different ways, and they don't know what to do. I mean, it's a really shitty situation for everybody.
Yeah, and the radio silence from BSG is rough, but at the same point, they also
Understandable.
have to keep out for themselves at a certain point too.
Yeah, and I think it's. I mean, I don't expect BSG to have a official statement here. I don't think that's something that they will ever do, because I don't think it doesn't serve anybody. I think
Oh, it's a damn if you
people
do,
in
damn if you
Russia.
don't type of situation for them.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, and that's kind of why I reached my conclusion to take down the site, that it's not about BSG specifically. It's not about BSG as a company or anybody working there. I haven't heard any bad things about anybody there. But if you, I was thinking about all the big companies, like every single larger company takes an active stance. Like we can't support this regime. Sucks for the people. It's really hard, but this is something we got to do. I heard of a local sporting goods store close to a town I grew up in, where almost more than 50% of their revenue comes from selling stuff to Russia.
Okay.
It's a really small company. I think they're like 4 employees. So somebody asked them in the local newspaper, like, "Won't this hit you really hard?" I'm like, "Yeah, it will." End of conversation. It's
Yeah,
actually...
that's yeah.
but everybody's really struggling and suffering, and just for me, it's just time. It's just 3 years of my life, while for others it's literally their life. So yeah, it's a big thing, and
Do
I
you have any
think
future projects planned at this point?
not yet. No, I'm still. I've been honestly. I've been crying most of the day, just being sad about
I
every
bet, man.
all the stuff and all the time and all the work I put in. I will probably end up doing more gaming related things, but not. I don't have any concrete plans yet. Depends on what game I get into, I think.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a thing. Is how complex is the next game?
Yeah, exactly. And how good are the resources and how good are the tools? That's also the big thing, right? I used to do some like machine learning algorithm stuff for Hearthstone, but there were so many others doing great products there. I didn't really see the need for me to build another one. While Tarkov didn't really have a good tool when I started.
Have you been aware of the Nexta post that came up yesterday
No,
about Russia potentially shutting off internet to the world and changing domains to
yeah.
RU and all that
So
stuff?
I work in that in my day job, and I've been trying to figure out what it actually means, what they're trying to say. So I don't think it's gonna be the way that the most skeptical people look at it. I don't think it's gonna shut off access to those people. I think it sounds more like you can't host a government Russian website abroad anymore, and then making sure that all the RU domains are using the primary Russian name servers as their primary name servers, which means that in the future Russia can shut off access to them. If they want, but that wouldn't hit BSG so much. They don't use RU at all, as far as I know, in any of their top level domains. They have some Russian hosting providers, but I don't think the next stuff is gonna hit them.
No, and I think the Swift sanctions, if anything, would hit them harder than that at this point.
Yeah, I was one of the things that I was thinking about before shutting it down. I was realizing that I think I don't see them surviving this. And I realized I was thinking about, it's just going to be a matter of time before they shut down.
Yeah.
And I realized I was being a bit of a coward in like, I don't have to make a stance. I don't have to make a decision. It will be made for me. And that's just not something I want to do. That's not something I believe in, really.
Yeah, and like you're saying, I think we're unfortunately a short time away from them being kind of forced to shut down, whether it's fiscally or whatever. I want to support the companies, but I can't support certain things that are going on. But
I've had some back channel talk, and I know some people are discussing on what to do, and it's a different situation. I have a day job. I was close to quitting that to work full time on this. Was just I made the decision not to do that just a few weeks ago, to do some other things, and others are full-time developing.
Mhm.
And for them, I mean, if you have a family, it's a very personal thing to quit just for making a point of your morals.
Yeah, that's a large question. Is like website like Tarkov Market.
Yeah.
I'm sure they use your API pretty heavily at this point.
No, so Tarkov Market is one of the reasons I started this website, because it's built by a Russian guy who is not very pleasant.
I know their site is offering ways to pay with Russian credit in some way right now.
Yeah, he is Russian, and he's always done it as sort of like a paywalled experience, and he has been attacking competition, and he has been shutting others down. I have one competitor who built an open source free version of a part of his site. He even got Patreon to shut them off by filing a lot of false accusations. So he's been really hostile for the last couple of years. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's using my API, but I don't have any evidence of him doing that. So that's been a big competition, I think. But he was first.
You'll find out pretty quickly once you shut it off.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see what happens to them. That's going to be interesting. But I don't want to screw people over that I've worked with for so long. I mean, I have one close developer is called Razmetas, has been spending a huge amount of time on building, improving our scanner infrastructure and our scanner hardware and scanner software. And he's running a site called Tarkov Guru.
Okay.
And I just don't want to force him to make a decision on what he's going to do with his platform.
Have you considered handing it off instead?
Yeah, I have, but I got that question yesterday. Like, if you're quitting, why don't you just open source everything and release everything? And I realized that if I do that, that's not making a stand.
Right.
That's just supporting BSG, supporting Russia and Putin, which I don't want to do. Right. If I release everything open source and just somebody else run it, it's not because I feel this is immoral to run. Mm-hmm. I just feel like I should stop the support where I can, which, yeah, that's kind of the hard ground or hard distinction I'm trying to make.
With your next steps, like, I mean, are you planning to take time off in general and just kind of reevaluating what your plan is in general? I mean, you definitely deserve some time off.
Thank you. There's not much time off happening in Sweden right now in general. No, I kind of want to do something. It depends on how I feel tomorrow, right? If I wake up and feel a little bit better, I might start looking into some projects. I have some old code bases that need a refresher. Maybe that's a good start. I'm not sure. It would be nice to just relax for a bit and think of the next steps and the next plan and the next game. But I don't think I have that luxury, both personally and professionally. So I'll see what I do tomorrow. Just need to sleep.
Well, I'll let you get to sleep then, bud.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time. I really appreciate it.
Nah, you're welcome. Glad you talked to me instead of just shouting me rude things on Reddit.
Hopefully we can get some people, get some attention, and actually get people to understand where you're coming from and why.
That would be much appreciated.
Well, I had fully intended on this video being edited down to about a 5-minute video. The conversation that I had with Kokarn was interesting. We went over a lot of different things, and I learned a lot about him. I figured you guys want to learn that as well. But if you guys like content like this, hit like, hit subscribe. There'll be more stuff like this coming in the future. Definitely enjoyed making this type of content and speaking with developers. So, I will see you guys around. Have a good one.